I want you to picture the sound of a scanner beeping, beep, beep, beep. That was the soundtrack of Maria's life for 5 years. She works as a cashier at a Walmart in Ohio, standing on concrete floors for 8-hour shifts, scanning groceries for people who sometimes don't even look her in the eye. Her feet ache every single night. Her back hurts. But she does it because she has 2 little girls at home depending on her. Maria is one of us. She works hard, she shows up on time, and she stretches every single dollar until it screams. But last November, Maria hit a wall that I think many of you know all too well. It wasn't the job that broke her, it was her car. Maria was driving a 2008 sedan with over 200,000 miles on it. She called it the rusty bucket. It had no heat, the window wouldn't roll down, and it made a noise like a dying lawnmower every time she started it. But it ran. It got her to work, it got her kids to school, until the Tuesday morning, when it didn't. The transmission blew out right in the parking lot. The mechanic told her it would cost $3,000 to fix. $3,000. When you make $14 an hour, $3,000 might as well be $3 million. She didn't have it. She didn't even have 300, so she had to scrap the car. For the next 3 months, Maria's life became a logistics nightmare. She had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to catch 2 different buses just to get to her shift on time. She had to beg rides from friends to pick up her kids. She told me she remembers standing at a bus stop in the freezing rain, holding 4 plastic bags of groceries that were cutting into her hands, crying because she felt like she had failed. She felt like she was working herself to the bone, and moving backward, that is a dark place to be, that feeling of being trapped. She knew she needed a car, a reliable car, not a fancy new one, just something safe. She set a goal of $5,000 to buy a solid used vehicle for cash. But looking at her paycheck, saving $5,000 seemed impossible. After rent, utilities, food, and phone bills, she usually had less than $50 left over every 2 weeks. The math didn't work. That is when she found the 100 envelope. Now, maybe you have seen this on social media. Usually it's some influencer with a beautiful desk and perfect nails, stuffing crisp $100 bills into fancy binders. When Maria first saw it, she laughed. She actually got angry. She thought, who has money like that? The challenge says you take 100 envelopes, number them 1 to 100, and every day you pick one and put that amount of cash inside. If you pull envelope number 50, you put in $50. If you pull number 99, you put in $99. If you finish it, you save $5,050. Maria sat at her kitchen table with a calculator. She realized immediately that she couldn't do the challenge the normal way. She couldn't just pull out $90 on a random Tuesday. She didn't have it. If she tried to do that, her lights would get cut off. She almost gave up right there. She almost decided that saving money was a game for rich people, not for a Walmart cashier. But she was desperate. She was tired of the bus. She was tired of being cold and wet. So Maria decided to remix the system. She decided to rewrite the rules to fit her blue-collar reality. She went to the Dollar Tree, bought a box of plain white envelopes and a marker, and she made a promise to herself. She wasn't going to follow the internet's rules. She was going to survive them. And that decision changed everything. Let me tell you exactly how she tweaked this challenge to go from 0 savings to buying a car in cash without working overtime or winning the lottery. It started with a simple mental shift about what spare change really means. Maria looked at that pile of 100 envelopes and realized the standard rules were a trap for someone on her budget. The original challenge says, you pick a random number every day. But if Maria picked the number 98 on a Monday and her rent was due on Tuesday, she would fail. She would feel discouraged and quit. So she changed the rules to fit her life. She separated the envelopes into 2 piles. The first pile was numbers 1 through 50. The second pile was numbers 51 through 100. Her goal wasn't to fill an envelope every single day. Her goal was to fill 2 low envelopes or 1 medium envelope every pay period. She gave herself permission to go slow. She started with number 1, $1. Anyone can find $1, right? Maybe it's in the couch cushions, maybe it's at the bottom of your purse. She put a single dollar bill in the first envelope and sealed it. Then she did number 2, then number 3. It felt small, almost silly, but it was progress. But here is where the rubber meets the road. To fill the bigger numbers, Maria had to find money that didn't exist in her budget. She didn't get a raise at Walmart. She didn't win a scratch-off ticket. She had to become a detective in her own life. She started tracking every penny she spent for 2 weeks, and she found the leaks. The biggest one was food. Working at a grocery store, it is so easy to grab a snack on break. A bag of chips here, a soda there, a deli sandwich for lunch because she was too tired to pack food. She realized she was spending almost $40 a week on convenience food at work. That is $160 a month. That is a car payment right there. She stopped cold turkey. She started packing leftovers every single day. She drank free water from the break room fountain. That saved money went straight into the envelopes. The $20 envelope, done. The $30 envelope. She also started looking around her apartment at things she didn't need. The kids' old clothes that didn't fit anymore. She put them on Facebook Marketplace. An old blender she never used sold for $10. Every time she sold something, she didn't put that cash in her wallet. She treated it like it was radioactive. It went immediately into an envelope. She told me there was a Saturday where she sold a box of toys for $45. She took that cash, found envelope number 45, stuffed it, sealed it, and colored in the tracker. She said that feeling was better than buying anything new. It felt like she was buying her freedom. Now, I don't want to paint a perfect picture here. It was hard. There were weeks when the kids needed school supplies or shoes, and she looked at that box of envelopes and thought, I could just borrow $20 from there. It was so tempting. It was sitting right there in her sock drawer. One night, she actually tore open envelope number 15 to order pizza because she was exhausted and there was no food in the house. She felt terrible afterwards, but she didn't let that slip-up stop her. She replaced the money the next week. She learned that discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about getting back on the wagon when you fall off. The biggest hurdle was the high numbers. How do you fill envelope number 80, 90, or 100 on a cashier's wage? Maria used what I call the Windfall Rule. She knew that a few times a year, she got a little extra, her tax refund, a small holiday bonus, a birthday gift of $50 from her aunt. Instead of blowing that money on a treat, she attacked the big envelopes when her tax return came in. She didn't go to the mall. She sat down and filled the 10 biggest envelopes all at once. That was a huge chunk of the $5,000 right there. She turned those bonus moments into milestones. Slowly, week by week, month by month, that box of envelopes got heavier. It stopped looking like paper and started looking like a set of car keys. It took Maria 14 months. The internet influencers say you can do this challenge in 3 months or 100 days. But Maria lives in the real world, not on Instagram. It took 14 months of saying no to takeout, 14 months of packing sandwiches, 14 months of selling old clothes and picking up extra shifts whenever she could. But last Saturday morning, she sealed the final envelope. Number 87. It was the last one left. She put $87 inside, took a deep breath, and dumped the entire box onto her bed. Her daughters watched as she counted it, stacks of 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. It wasn't digital numbers on a banking app screen. It was real. It smelled like hard work. The total count was exactly $5,050. Maria didn't go to a big dealership with shiny balloons. She went to see a private seller on Craigslist who was selling a 2012 Honda Civic. It had a scratch on the bumper and 70,000 miles on the odometer. But when she turned the key, it purred. It didn't rattle. It didn't smoke. It had heat. It had working windows. The seller was asking $5,200. Maria showed him the envelope with exactly $5,000 cash. She didn't have to wait for a bank approval. She didn't have to worry about her credit score, which she is still working on fixing. She looked him in the eye and offered the cash. He took it. She signed the title and she drove away. She told me that the drive home was the quietest, most peaceful drive of her life. She wasn't worried about the transmission blowing up. She wasn't calculating if she could afford the monthly payment, because there was no payment. She owned it, free and clear. The next morning, it was raining, pouring rain, the kind of cold Ohio rain that chills you to the bone. Maria walked out of her apartment, buckled her girls into the back seat of a dry, warm car, and drove them to school. No waiting at the bus stop, no wet plastic bags cutting into her hands, just the sound of the windshield wipers and the heater humming. She said she cried the whole way to Walmart, but this time, they were happy tears. So what is the lesson here? Why am I telling you Maria's story? It isn't because the 100 envelope challenge is magic. The envelopes are just paper. The magic was that Maria stopped looking at the mountain and started looking at the steps. When you are broke, $5,000 looks like a mountain you can never climb. It feels impossible, but $1? You can do $1. $3. You can do $3. The envelopes gave her permission to start small. They gave her a visual win every single time she sealed one shut. It turned a terrifying financial goal into a game she could actually win. If you are watching this and you feel like you are drowning, if you are working a job that doesn't pay you enough and you feel trapped, I want you to try this, but do it Maria's way. Don't let the perfect social media versions intimidate you. Grab a box, grab some envelopes, write one on the first one, put a single dollar bill inside, just one, and then celebrate that win, because that is not just a dollar, that is the first brick in the foundation of your freedom. You don't have to be rich to start, you just have to start. Maria started with $1 and ended up with a car. Where could you be in 14 months if you started today? I believe in you. Now, go get your envelopes.